He wants to toss him. It's annoying. It's just it's what toddlers do. Okay, this is a prime example of the difference between an umpire that's just doing their job and an umpire who wants to be inserted, that inserts themselves into the game. And I've talked about CB and the stuff he pulls, and he pulled some BS the other day. And I thought Walker Buehler and by extension Dave Roberts' reaction to this was incredible. Let's just watch this thing. I know this is probably going to get DMCA'd or muted on the stream, but I'm okay with that. We're going to play with audio because I want you to hear what's happening.
To put him out there in center field.
So he's facing Julio Rodriguez, obviously, in the fourth inning.
It's kind of out of their control, obviously, once
0-2
he gets
count
out there in center field. And that breaking ball could have been strike three. Julio catches a break.
Walker goes, where is that, right? So watch him react. He's like, okay, where is that? Because he's getting frustrated.
And that breaking ball
watch CB.
Three. Julio catches a break.
It went around the zone. Now look at where Walker is right now. And now, yeah, I mean, it was a close pitch. You could have gone either way, honestly, but it's not where he wanted to throw the ball. And he's frustrated, like we've talked about it. Buehler is frustrated with how things are moving, how the ball feels coming out of his hand a little bit, and just about how his year's gone so much because he's, worked really hard to come back. I totally understand that. He deserves to be frustrated. He goes, okay, where's that? Because he's like, can I get some help? Because I've been there. We've all been there. Come on. Here's the difference. He said something. Now he's walking back. He's like, it went around the zone. He goes, no, it didn't. And then now he's walking back. And now CB comes out and takes his mask off. So now CB is engaging. CB is prolonging this now. Walker started the fire. Now he's throwing some wood on it because CB loves this stuff. Watch him.
And
it went around. And Walker is walking back like he was done. And now CB's continuing it because he loves it. Right?
Now CB Bucknor.
And then Will Smith's like, come on, like, I got it. Don't worry, I got it. They're trying to avoid it. Dave's like, hey, please don't get thrown out, Walker. It's the fourth inning.
And now Dave Roberts is coming out, palms up.
So right here, now, I want to talk about this too. See where Walker is? He's getting away. He knows too. He's like, I can't get thrown out here. I cannot get thrown out here. Look, Muncie's like, hey, we're not getting thrown out. Don't get thrown out. We don't want to tax the bullpen more because the bullpen have been throwing a lot. So very savvy. He's like, why is he yelling? He's like, you also notice Dave's not looking at him. So if you look down like this and he's placating, right? He's like, hey, you know what? Hey. And if you just don't look him in the eyes, you're not challenging him. This is like animal behavior right here. He's deferring to him. He's like, you're right. Calm down, CB. So now everyone's just like, it's okay, CB, like patting him on the head, like, hey, We'll do what you want. We'll do what you want. Please don't randomly throw somebody out because you're absurding yourself. Like, they know how to handle him. So this is really well done by the Dodgers.
That's perfect.
And this is the next pitch.
You're allowed to do that.
This is the next pitch. Calls time. CB's like, you got to look at him. Of course, he steps way out here.
And now Julio.
Watch him. And now look at Buehler. So CB runs out here and does this super aggressively. Like, come on, man. What? Like, just to instigate. He's instigating. He could do this. He could be like, hey, man, don't forget. But instead, he's doing it all aggressive because he wants to get a rise. And Walker's like, you're not going to get me. So he just walks away immediately and laughs. This is my favorite. So he's just trying to calm himself down. This right here. Watch Dave Roberts. Watch the breath he takes. So I saw that live and I was like, that is Dave Roberts going, calm down, Dave. I loved it. So this is something that a lot of people wouldn't have noticed, but this is something all the players are noticing. Now all of the Dodgers are like, oh my God, CB. So like if he goes and misses a call later, the chances they turn around and go are much higher now because they all saw that. They feel like he's just instigating and it's annoying. It's annoying. It's just, it's what toddlers do. It's like, it's middle school, lunch. Because umpires have all the power. They can throw anybody out at any time. They have power. And he wields it like a freaking sledgehammer. And it drives me crazy. But that is what it comes down to. He feels powerful. And that's why he does shit like that. Like, remember when I told you the story about how he stood way off on the line when I needed to do a hand check and made me, like, veer off to go to him last year? Instead of meeting me on the line to the... So, like, the player who's warming up and who has to physically work and go do something needs to run a little bit farther to get to CB. And he did it to me on purpose because it's just a power move. And it's like I'm not even thinking about it. And I look over and like, hey, do you need me? He goes, I'm right here. I'm like, why are we having this interaction right now? He knows I can't do anything. And so he does it. He's just, that's a classic immature bully behavior. It's just like, Is CB the new Angel? Actually, CB's worse than Angel. He always has been, but him and they're the same person. I think the only reason CB didn't get talked about more is because Angel existed. Just bring me robot umps, that won't help either. That's not the way. We just need different people. These umpires are getting worse and worse. They're not, actually. We just noticed them more because of all the cameras and social media and the fact that I'm on Twitch right now talking about it. Great teaching moment. Also, I don't know if you guys saw this. Jordan Montgomery comes out on Scott Boras, said he kind of butchered his free agency negotiations. I think that Montgomery had an idea and was given some information about the type of market that would happen. They got blindsided with how it didn't happen, and he trusted somebody a little bit too much, and he got burned, and he's frustrated by that. And I understand all of those things. If you want to have more of a say or more of an idea of this stuff, you have to be super educated yourself. You have to make effort. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he was super active. He just kind of let Boras handle it, which you do need to do that. Like in terms of the communications, yes, but you need to be talking to your agent constantly. But it does sound like Boras was a little bit too stubborn about it, and he got shown big time. Boras did. The way the playoffs have changed, they're going to change the market really, really fast, and it has. But for him to say he butchered it, I agree with him, and I'll be honest, kind of take some balls, Monty, to go after him like that. Of course, the Boras comment just made the headline. It was the New York Times, so drama sells. Jordan is very good, but as much I said this before, I'm like, I don't know why he wants a super long-term contract. If I'm him, I'm pumped about $15 million a year, because frankly, Jordan Montgomery has really, really middle-of-the-road stuff. He strikes out 6.5 per 9. He's never been dominant. He's just always been a good, solid 3-4-5 for good teams. And you should go and get your 5-year 75 if you can. So he said this, right? But then another guy who arguably got a lower contract than we all thought he was going to get. It's sad that he thinks that way. Blake Snell says, it's not all Scott's fault. Right. Snell said he was bothered by recent comments from Montgomery to the Boston Herald, in which Arizona left-hander charged with Boras kind of butchered his free agent negotiations. When Montgomery fired Boras and moved to representative to Washington, Snell felt no doubt who would be conducting his free agency this offseason, as widely anticipated, he opts out of contract with San Francisco Giants, which he will. My experience with Scott has been great. I've heard working with Scott he doesn't big league you. You can get a hold of him. To very clear, guys. In 2012, I was courted by Boras and CAA and Wasserman and Relativity, which was who I ended up going with Steve Veltman, who Steve then started his own later, and Steve is currently still, I think, my agent. No, he is. He's a very good friend of mine, and they were good at communicating. Whatever. It's just like there's so many players with them that I want to have more of an active role in the conversations and like an active role in stuff outside of just my contract. And Boras is more of that situation. That's just the way they operated a little bit more. So it was more of a business-like thing. I was looking for a buddy because the agent I had before that never, ever talked to me, which also no hard feelings, but it sucked at the time. It wasn't a good fit, but I've heard nothing but good things about how they operate. It's not like there's preferential treatment or anything. It's just a big organization. And sometimes you feel like you're low on the totem pole. I think Montgomery felt like he should have been higher on the totem pole, maybe. I think Snell doesn't blame Boras because Snell rejected that offer from the Yankees, not Boras. Memory serves right. Yeah, and bummer. That probably comes from the fact that Snell took more of an active role on being locked in. And for what I know about Jordan, I don't know Jordan, guys. I just know this anecdotally, that he's a little bit more hands-off. He's a little bit more like, hey, you know what? You guys understand it a little better. I trust you to take care of it. And he put his full trust, and he feels like that trust was misplaced, maybe. I think that's where it comes down to. So where Pete Alonso is going to go, it's going to be really interesting because he's got Boras as well. But for a guy to come out and be like, Boras butchered it, and then another guy come out and be like, it wasn't quite Boras' fault, is really interesting to me. I think we're seeing one guy who's a little bit more engaged than the other one. I mean, he's complaining, but no, he was just asked, what do you think happened? He's like, I just think my contract got butchered a little bit. He's like, if I was going to sign that, I at least could have gotten spring training. He's just frustrated how the season's gone because he knows, it was one of those things where he just stumbled out of the gate, and he's just been stumbling ever since, and it's hard to get your feet under you. He held out for no reason, and then now he's having a bad year. Those things matter, and you can't just say, if you don't like it, pitch better. I'm just tired of hearing that. There's just more that goes on to it. It's just too easy to say. It's lazy. I'm super pro Boras because I like guys who actually fight for the players in their net worth. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm pro the idea of Scott Boras. So maybe the expectation was just too high. He got excited. Trust me, been there, done that. I understand. Actually, no, I haven't been there. I've never had any high expectations. Not really.